Hi, it's Darlene from Darlene's Creative Studio. I'm going to be working on a few little projects. I started to clean out my studio the other day. I have to prepare for an art show coming this summer. And I did a quick inventory of what I had on my Etsy shop and what I had finished so that I could see what I had to make for the upcoming shows this summer. And when I started doing that, then I started going through all my drawers and piles and books, and it kind of distracted me and led me in to finish a couple of small projects that I had stashed in a basket. So what I thought I'd do is just kind of run through everything that I've done in the last week, and then hopefully I can move forward and create some more journals and stuff for the upcoming shows. So I started out doing a quick inventory for my Etsy shop to see what I had and whether I should make more of. So the two folios that I still have on my Etsy shop, I am going to make some more of these for the art show. I'm getting a lot of people that are asking about them, so I am going to be creating more different size folios. So I am going to do a few more of those for the upcoming show. I do have 5 of the Gojos left, so I think that should be enough for the art show, and I do have them on my Etsy shop. And these are nice. These are a nice size. They're the 4.5 by 4 type size. And then I have the fabric journals and the canvas journals, and I still have quite a few of these left. I did put them on sale for half price in May and sold a couple of those, but I will probably now save them for the art show and take them off my Etsy shop, or I might put them on sale just before my art show and see if I can sell a few more, and then the remaining will go in the art show. I also have the Reader's Digests. I think I have 5 of these online, some with sari ribbon, some with the plain, and these are a nice size as well. So I have 5 of these on my Etsy, and I will make some more of these. I do have the covers all set up. I just have to tea stain some of the papers. And then I was playing with, I pulled some of these out. These are the first journals that I've made. These, I call them the Nick the Booksmith, because I took her Scholar's Ledger course and I created these. And then when I was going through the inventory and playing with them, I actually went through and added a few more things to them because I found a whole bunch of tags and stuff that I had made. So I actually went through and added a few more things to the journals, some images and some ephemera that I had. I just went ahead and added a few more things to those to get rid of some of the ephemera that I had. This one was a travel one that I had made, and the cover pages were just plain maps, and I went through and added some of the ephemera and stuff to each of the pages. So I did kind of vamp these up a little bit and add a few more tags, that's tuck spots and journaling cards. So this one has a few more things added to it that I really wanted to vamp it up a little bit. So anyway, so that one I did fix up, and so the other ones I did as well. I added nicer journaling cards and whatnot too. So I had those 4 still on my Etsy shop. And then I don't think I have these on my Etsy shop. These are, I went shopping with my husband and we found this very large piece of raw leather from a store. They had it in their back room, and I brought it home and cut it into pieces and then stained it and conditioned the leather myself and made 5 of these large leather covers. And then I have one small pocket size as well, and it comes with the 2 inserts and some blank paper in the inserts. They're 5 by 8, so they fit anything. And then I created this little elastic attachment, wrong way, and it holds a pen. I've just got a little golfing pencil in there, but it does hold a pen that you can put in there. So I don't think these are on my Etsy shop, but I do have 5 of those as well. So anyway, as I was going through and doing my inventory, what I do is on my desktop, I keep this basket handy. And what I do is when I find a project or I start working on a project, I throw it in here if I don't get to finish it. So these are some of the pieces of projects and whatnot that I was working on. Little bits and tags and some little tiny mini notebooks and some tea cards and There's all kinds of things in here. So what I did was I grabbed a couple of things out of the basket and started working on them. And then I went through my cupboard of all my old books, and some of them were like botanical books, so I pulled the pages out so I could use them. And then I had stored all my covers so that I could, because I'm going to teach a little course and use some of the covers. This was one of the small books that I had. It was a sketchbook, or it was From My Window, and it was filled with some beautiful etchings from Marjolaine Bastine, I think is her name. Anyway, I had saved the cover and I had put these calendar pages on it and saved it, and I was going to do something with it. So I threw some lace along the edge and put an eyelid in it, and I created this little, I just finished tea staining a whole bunch of paper. So I created a little, it's 100 pages, and I'm going to do a 100-day challenge, whether it's a gratitude journal or ideas, or I'm not quite sure yet, but there is 100 pages, 104 pages, I believe, in here. And I'm going to use this as a 100-day challenge. So I finished that up yesterday or the day before. These are little projects that I had in that basket. There was another one. I had this old book, and I just loved the cover. It had a beautiful, this is silver and a floral, and it had the title under here. And this is actually one of the book pages from the book that I just covered the title and then attached a book plate to it. And then again, put lace over the title. And then inside, I've just added some scrapbooking paper, made two signatures. And one of them has a little tuck spot here. And then I filled the first signature with just tea stain paper. And this is for me to carry around to write down ideas, or if I get ideas or craft, to be creative. And then the second signature is an old journal that I had, and this was paper left over at the back from an old journal, and I've just taken the back apart and put this lined paper in here. And there's another tuck spot here as well as here in that second signature. So this was a nice little purse size, and I just love the book. And again, it was in the basket waiting to be, you know, make a project out of it. So I finally finished that the other day and added these two little signatures and stuff. So that's another little book that I was making for myself. And then I am teaching an envelope journal course to an art group that I belong to or have been going to, and they asked if I would teach the little envelope journal. So I had to go through one and write down all the instructions, because now I just do it automatically. So I started to create a quick little journal and write down all the little instructions, and so I ended up going through that and making this quick little journal so that we had something to go by as a sample. And then I have all the instructions as well written down for teaching this course. So it has all kinds of little tuck spots, and that's going to be the fun part, is just creating all the little tuck spots. And there's a little envelope there and a little card there. And another little tuck spot there. So this is something that I've created for that course. So I did that as well. So that was another little one I worked on. And then I sat and watched some videos the other day. Again, the weather here in Canada has just been horrible. It's actually pouring today. But I saw this video, and this lady had made this folio type thing out of file folders, and it was quite large. She was putting it in quite a large journal. And so I went and grabbed some file folders, and I was about to make it, and then I decided I'm going to make a smaller version because I just thought the other one was too big for what I would use it for. So I ended up creating a smaller version of it and digging out some of those books that I had ripped apart and using some of the botanical pages. So it has a nice little tuck spot here at the front and on the back. And then when you open it up, oops, I glued it together. No, I haven't. There we go. And you open it up again. So it has these lovely botanical pages that I got to use. And then it has another little tuck spot here, another little tuck spot there. So you can insert this inside one of your little journals. And then I created some little pockets out of vellum as well here. So cleaning out my stash led me to doing a whole bunch of projects and took me right away from what I originally started to do. This happens a lot. So I created this little folio type thing, And then I came across all these little tiny books that I had, and I was pulling apart. This was Wildflowers of America, and I believe it was published in 1932. And it has the cutest little pages with flowers on it. So I have these all set aside, and then I think, what can I do with them? And then I came across these in my stash. These were from the dollar store. I had saved them for some other project and never ended up using them. And they're quite large, so I didn't really know what to do with them. So all I did was take a 12 by 12 black piece of cardstock, and these are about 3 inches square. So I've just cut my 12 by 12 into, they're 3 inches minus 1/16. So I put it in the cutter, and then I just slid it down 1 notch and cut them so they're just a little bit slightly smaller than 3 inches. So I got 4 out of the 12 by 12 strips, and then I cut them again. I turned it and cut again that 3 inches minus the 1/16. So I got all these little squares, and then all I'm going to do is attach the black cardstock to this square. Actually, let's just do one really quickly here. So we're going to attach the black cardstock, and I don't want to do the corners because I'm going to clip that corner off. Okay, I'm going to clip those corners down, and then we're just going to add the black cardstock. And again, these are just little projects that I was trying to throw in my basket, and one day I'll get around to them. And then, like I say, it's been raining for so long, so I haven't been really able to get outside and do a lot of gardening and whatnot. So we glue that on, and then I just take my little round 1/2 inch punch, and I'm just going to round those black corners off. Oop, and that went flying. Like so. And then what I took one of those little wildflower pictures, and my scissors, and I've just cut it to the outside of that black line. And I'm going to put it right underneath the name of the flower. So then when I went to join it on, I noticed that it was a little too long. So I'm going to cut the name of the plant off and save that. Make sure I don't mix it up. There. So it is actually Evening Bouncing Betty in Evening something. Anyway, so I'm going to put that on there, but I think I'm going to distress the edges just a tiny, tiny bit to give them more of that, match the craft cardstock. And then I'm going to attach this onto the black like so, and once it's glued on, then I will repunch that hole. So let's glue that on real quick. You want to get right to the corners so that they don't pop up, like so. And we're just going to attach that to the middle. And the only reason I use the black cardstock, because it has that black outline around the flower, it really makes it pop when you have the black cardstock. So that's joined on there. And then what I'm going to do is take the name of the plant and just add it across the bottom like that. And try not to glue my fingers because it's such a skinny little piece. I probably could use a glue stick and it would be better so that I won't ooze out everywhere, but like that. And then I'm just going to take my hole punch, and I'm going to punch that hole back out like so. I'll go my finger. It's still attached. There you go. And just I've created a quick little tag. And what I might do on the backs is add a bit of tea stain paper and distress the edges as well. But again, I have this little basket and I just throw things in there that I want to, you know, I'll start a project and then dinner time and then I'll throw them in there. So this is something that I'll sit and make, and I'll finish up all these tags and use up some of these little tiny botanical book pages and make a nice little tag on the back. And I might even do it so that when you turn it over, there's like a little page there that you can flip out, and maybe with a little tab there so that the paper will tuck underneath. But anyway, that I've started making these. So there's another little project. Hopefully it won't go in the basket and I'll get them all done. It's a nice rainy day. Maybe I could do those this afternoon. So I'm going to go ahead and work on those as well. I am also going to be working on a few more of the Edith Holden note card journals. I've got a couple here started already, but I wanted to get a couple of these. These sell really well at the craft shows. So I was going to be working on those, and I've created some more envelopes. So I have those all set up and ready to go. And while I was cleaning through my stash, I found a little tin that these are the little tea tins that I create, and I've got all my little words in there. So I can use those for my journals. And I came across a bunch of cutouts that I had punched out of the books, some of the scraps, some of the pages. So these are little scallop circles. I think they're about 1.5 inch, 1 inch, I think 1.5 inch. Yeah, 1.5 inch scallop circle. And I had punched a bunch of the scrap. So these books specifically had it was a planner type thing. So I had punched out some of the little flowers and stuff out of the corners of the pages that I couldn't use. So I found a big stash of these, and I was thinking I'm going to be able to use them in my journal. So what I've done is I've distressed the edges. So these are all the ones that are lined. I've distressed the edges with those. This is my little bowl. And then these are the little florally parts that I cut out of the corners of the pages, and I've distressed those as well. So I'll probably add these to the journals as well. And then I also made some tags out of the end papers from the book, the Edith Holden book. So I will use these maybe on some of the journaling cards as well. So I pulled all this little bit of stash out, and I'm going to use those. And this is my little ideas book. And I was trying to think of some things that I could use these for. So I will actually attach them to 1 or 2 of the pages. And you can either write like the date on them, the weather, a little saying, quote, or something special that can go. So it'll be on the corner of the page. So when you get into one of the journals, I'll just have it kind of sitting up there on the corner of a page, and you can add your own little note to that as well. And then some of the like ledger papers and stuff, I'll actually add one of the little colored paper. So I'm going to use those up. So I've distressed them all and got them in my nice little bowl here. These are one of the bowls that I used to make a couple of years ago. I would get old wooden bowls and actually paint them up. So I have a couple of these in my stash as well. But so I will put these with the Eden. This is another little pile of projects to work on. So I'll be working on those in the near future for either my Etsy shop or for this coming art sale in July, and some more of these tags as well. One of the other things I used, I found a lot of the 12 by 12 black cardstock. I had a little package of it, and I don't use the black very often, but I did make some little notebooks. Now, I've made these before. I actually got a clothing tag that was black, and I think I showed you in one of my other videos. It was a little clothing tag about this size, and it had a little hole punched there, and it had a little ribbon off the side. And it was thicker cardstock. It was really pretty, and I had put a little printed ephemera thing on it. And so I created another one. That's about the size I used, and I just put some paper on the inside. So I may add a little hole and still put the ribbon on the corners. I'm not sure yet. But what I did was, when I was going through my stash, I had an old book of magazine covers from the 1900s. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze. And so I had cut some of these cards a little larger and added the covers from the magazines. I cut them all out and I had them in one of my little pouches that I've made. So there is, and then again, it just had the paper on the inside. So I made about, I don't know, a dozen of these with these really cute magazine covers. They're just, I just fell in love with them, and I kept saving them for, there's a little Good Housekeeping one. Kept saving them for, I'm not quite sure what I was going to use them for. That one's pretty. And then I made a few of those. And then when I was putting them all together, my husband said, well, why is the lined paper the wrong way? So then I took a few more of them and actually made them into little booklets and actually put the paper in the same way as the label. So I have a few of those made up, and I did those again. Again, getting a little sidetracked from creating my journals. I pulled everything out, and then when I started going through all the scraps, I thought I have to use those little magazine covers for something. So I've created a whole bunch of these little booklets, and they may get popped inside one or two of my journals. I may make a little envelope for them and pop them in. So that was another little project that I got sidetracked on when I found the black cardstock and found the little magazine covers and thought I've got to do something with those. So it's really easy to get distracted when you're cleaning out some of your stash to look for what you want to put inside your journals. So those are just a few of the little projects that I've been working on, trying to get to get myself up to par for this show coming in July. So anyway, I hope to get some more journals done, and I will do a flip through of some of the journals. I'm working on the Edith Holden note cards next week, and hopefully make another video for that. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you subscribe to my channel.